Want to automate your Centrelink child support deductions in Employment Hero Payroll? I'll show you how to set it up once and never touch it again. As Employment Hero implementation specialists, we've helped hundreds of businesses automate these deductions correctly. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to set it up, recurring deductions, configure Services Australia payments, and verify everything works perfectly in your pay run. So from time to time, you're going to get a letter like this sent through to payroll. And this is a more complicated one, but sometimes I'll say that they're going to start off with a certain amount, then they're going to step that amount up after a period of time, and that might continue. There's also a protected earnings amount, and that will change every 12 months as CPI increases and things like that. So that's the amount that they've got to earn before a deduction comes out. Sometimes they'll provide BSB and account details on here and an EFT code. Sometimes they don't provide that information, but it is available on Service Australia's website. So please go check that out if your letter doesn't have that. But that's the information we need. So we can see here that we're going to have one pay period at $361, and then it's going to step up to $393. So let's see how we can create that in an employee's file. So what we want to do is go to our employee and pay run inclusions, and we're going to go add next to deductions. For a deduction category, you should have one in your file already called child support deduction. We're going to choose fixed as the amount. This is the first deduction that we're going to do. So this is $361.57. So let's grab that amount and we'll put that in. Now it's not going to be paid manually. It's going to be paid into a bank account. And what I've gone and done is set up Services Australia's bank account in this employee's record. And I'll show you that in a second. We're going to choose preserved earnings, and it's going to be once a minimum net earnings amount's been reached. And I'm going to pick up that amount that we've got here. Like I said, you might need to change this amount every 12 months or so. So we'll go here and click once that amount's been reached, and we don't want to pay the deduction unless they have at least earned that. For payment reference, I'm going to pick up that EFT code. And that's important because that identifies you as a person paying that amount of money to Centrelink. We're going to start the deduction. I might actually start it a year ago just so that it comes through. And we're going to expire it either after a certain date or after a certain amount. Now, it might make sense to use date in this case, but I'm going to also use amount and just say that once I see one payment of $361.57, expire this deduction out. Now, if I just want to set and forget, I can do the second lot of deduction as well, but just defer the start date. So this time I'm going to just say simply add a child support deduction, choose fixed, pick up the amount that we've got as the higher amount of the two, $393.44. We're going to again pay it to a bank account, Services Australia. The preserved earnings amount will be again the same as what we did before. The payment reference will be the EFT code again. Now, we're going to defer the start date by 2 weeks. So in this case, we're going to say, like at the moment, at the time of recording, it's 22nd November. So I might make it the 6th of December before we start doing this. And it's not going to expire this time. This deduction is going to continue on. So we're going to click save. So what effectively we've done is instead of doing this on payday, we're doing this as soon as we get the letter. It's set and forget. And what's going to happen when we run our pay run is so long as that employee's earned the right amount of money, this deduction is going to come out. It's going to send that through the ABA file through to Centrelink. And with single touch payroll reporting, Centrelink will also get the information to know that we've deducted this from the employee's pay. So let's see that in action. But before we do, just want to mention the bank accounts thing. The reason I was able to choose Services Australia when I set up the deduction is because I had this second bank account. And what I've done is just picked up the BSB and account number for Services Australia, unticked it so the employee can't edit that bank account. So in other words, if they logged in through the self-service portal, they can't edit that deduction at all. And I click save. Okay, let's run a pay run and see how this looks. So I'm going to create a new pay run. We'll make it today's date, so 22nd, 11th. And this will be empty. I don't have any timesheets in at the moment, so Edna hasn't earned anything. And what you'll see is at the moment, we've got a zero earnings line with a deduction amount saying that it hasn't hit the preserved earnings limit. So let's now go add an earnings line in. Say that she's worked 100 hours this fortnight. at $40. It's well and truly going to be above that preserved earnings limit. And now it's going to take out that $361.57. As simple as that. So when I go to finalize the pay run and I download the ABA file, it's actually going to download a line to pay that $361 to Centrelink. So it's not a separate process you have to do through accounts payable. So that's how you get this set up as a set and forget thing. It'll work every time you do payday flawlessly, and it lets you deal with this ahead of time, so you're not dealing with it on payday. So I think that's a great tip. If you have any more tips you want to see through PayCat, just reach out and let us know. I'm always happy to fill in these things. Thanks very much.